Captain Jake Morrison sat in his command chair, watching the stars drift past on the main screen. The UFS Frontier had been patrolling this sector for 3 weeks now, and nothing interesting had happened. His crew was getting restless. Some of them were playing card games during their off hours, while others spent time in the gym or reading books from Earth. "Captain," called Amy Rodriguez from her communications station. Her voice was sharp with surprise. "I'm picking up a distress signal. It's not human." Jake straightened up immediately. In all his years of space travel, humanity had never encountered another intelligent species. There had been theories and hopes, but no proof until now. "Put it through the speakers," Jake ordered. Static filled the bridge, followed by sounds that definitely did not come from human throats. The alien voices were high-pitched and musical, but there was clear panic in their tone. "Can you make sense of it?" Jake asked. Amy worked at her station, her fingers dancing over the controls. "Give me a few minutes, sir. The computer is trying to find patterns in their language." Commander Lisa Park stepped up beside Jake's chair. She was his second in command and had been with him for 5 years. "Should we alert Earth Command?" "Not yet," Jake said. "Let's see what we're dealing with first." Dr. Ryan Cole emerged from the elevator that led to the medical bay. He had heard the commotion and came to investigate. "Did I hear correctly? Are those alien voices?" "Looks like it, Doc," Jake replied. "Amy, any progress?" "Yes, sir." The computer found some basic mathematical patterns. "I think I can establish simple communication." Amy adjusted her headset and began speaking slowly into her microphone. "This is the human vessel Frontier. We received your distress call. Can you understand us?" The alien chatter stopped suddenly, and a new voice came through, speaking broken but understandable English. "Humans? You are the Death World dwellers? Please, we need help, but we are afraid." The bridge fell silent. Jake exchanged glances with Lisa and Ryan. "Death World dwellers? What did that mean?" "We are humans from Earth," Amy continued. "We want to help you. What is your emergency?" "Our ship is badly damaged. We are Velari people. The Kethmer hunt us. They want to make us slaves or kill us all. We run for many days, but our engines fail soon." Jake stood up and walked to Amy's station. "Ask them how many are on their ship and what kind of help they need." Amy repeated the questions. The alien voice, which sounded female, responded quickly. "We are 47 Velari on this ship, mostly families with children. Our life support fails in maybe 6 hours. Our engines cannot take us further. We heard stories about humans. They say you are warriors from a deadly world, but also that you sometimes show mercy to weak ones." Dr. Cole stepped forward. "Captain, if they have children and failing life support, we need to act fast." "I know, Doc." Jake turned to his tactical officer. "Nick, do you see their ship on sensors?" Lieutenant Nick Palmer looked up from his station. "Yes, sir. Small vessel, about half our size. I'm reading significant damage to their hull and engine systems. Their life support is definitely struggling. Amy, tell them we're coming to help. Ask if it's safe for us to approach their ship." As Amy translated, Jake felt the weight of the moment. This was humanity's first contact with an alien species, and it was happening during a crisis. These Velari were clearly refugees running from something called the Kethmer. The alien voice came back, filled with what sounded like relief and fear, mixed together. "You will help us, even though we cannot fight? Even though we are not strong like humans? We have heard the stories about your people. They say humans come from a world so dangerous that it makes you into perfect warriors. They say you eat poison for pleasure, and your bodies heal from wounds that would kill others." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "Poison for pleasure? Are they talking about coffee?" "Probably alcohol, too." Ryan added with a slight smile. Jake motioned for quiet. Amy, tell them we'll help anyone who needs it. That's what humans do. Ask them about these Kethmer who are chasing them. After Amy's translation, the Velari voice became sadder and more fearful. Kethmer are empire builders. They take worlds and make slaves of peaceful people. If people resist, they kill everyone. We Velari are healers and farmers. We cannot fight them. Many of our worlds are already taken. This ship carries refugees from 3 different planets. How far behind are the Kethmer? Jake asked. We think. Maybe one day, perhaps less. Their ships are faster than ours, but they stopped to raid another world. That gave us time to escape. Jake looked around at his crew. He could see the determination in their faces. Nobody suggested leaving these aliens to their fate. Amy, tell them we're moving to assist right now. We'll get their people aboard our ship and make sure they're safe. Captain, Lisa said quietly, if these Kethmer are as dangerous as they say, we might be getting into more than we can handle. Maybe, Jake replied. But we can't leave kids to die in space. Nick set course for their ship. Best speed. Yes, sir. As the Frontier changed direction and accelerated toward the alien vessel, Amy continued talking with the Velari. She learned that their spokesperson was named Quilven and that she was some kind of leader among the refugees. Captain Morrison. Amy said, Quilven wants to know if we're sure about this. She says that helping them might bring the Kethmer's anger down on us. Jake thought for a moment. Humanity had been alone in space for so long, exploring and building colonies, but never finding other intelligent life. Now their first contact was with refugees who needed protection from an aggressive empire. Tell her that humans don't abandon people in trouble, Jake said firmly. We'll figure out the rest as we go. As the alien ship grew larger on their screen, Jake couldn't help but wonder what humanity was about to get itself into. But looking at his crew's faces, he knew they would face whatever came next together. The Frontier moved closer to its destiny, carrying the hopes and fears of 2 very different species toward an uncertain future. The Frontier's docking bay had never been so crowded. 47 Velari refugees stood huddled together, their large purple eyes darting nervously around the human ship. They were tall and thin, with pale blue skin and delicate features that reminded Dr. Ryan Cole of gentle deer. Their hands had 4 long fingers, and they moved with careful, graceful steps. Captain Jake Morrison watched as his crew tried to make the aliens comfortable. The Velari seemed terrified of everything, jumping at sudden noises and backing away whenever a human came too close. Dr. Cole, Jake called out, how are they doing medically? Ryan looked up from his scanner. Their vital signs show extreme stress, but no immediate health dangers. However, Captain, there's something strange. My medical scanner is reading toxin warnings whenever it scans near our crew members. Toxin warnings? An elderly Velari with silver markings on her forehead stepped forward hesitantly. Through Amy Rodriguez's translation device, her voice came through as soft and melodic. Forgive us, Captain Morrison. I am Elder Quilven. Our healer Zenthara says your people carry many dangerous substances in your bodies. The smell from your breath contains chemicals that would kill most Velari. Jake looked confused. What chemicals? A younger Velari with intricate blue patterns on her arms approached nervously. I am Zenthara, healer for our people. Your doctor's body shows traces of caffeine, alcohol, and capsaicin. These are deadly poisons to us. How do you survive with such toxins in your system? Dr. Cole laughed, then quickly stopped when he saw the aliens flinch at the sound. I had coffee this morning and spicy food last night. To us, these aren't poisons. The Velari exchanged worried glances. Elder Quilven spoke again. The stories about Deathworld dwellers are true. You consume. Poison for pleasure can survive. Not poison, Amy explained gently. Just things that taste good to us. Coffee helps us stay awake, and spicy food makes eating more enjoyable. Engineer Kyle Watson approached with his tool bag. Captain, I'd like to take a team over to their ship and see if we can fix their engines. Maybe we can get them mobile again. Good idea. Take Beth Turner with you? As Kyle and technician Beth Turner prepared to leave, they noticed the Velari watching them with amazement. Kyle was carrying a heavy bag of tools that weighed almost 50 pounds, but he handled it easily. Beth was wearing work gloves and had several metal tools hanging from her belt. Elder Quilvin, Amy said, our engineers want to help repair your ship. Is that acceptable? The elderly Velari looked shocked. Your people would touch our technology? Work with metal and electricity? On our world, only special individuals can handle such dangerous tasks, and they must be protected with many safety measures. Kyle and Beth are good at fixing things, Jake explained. They work with dangerous equipment every day. It's normal for humans. Zenthara whispered something to Elder Quilvin in their own language. Then she spoke through the translator. Dr. Cole, may I ask why your people are doing physical training? I saw several humans in a room lifting heavy metal objects and running on machines. Are they being punished? Dr. Cole smiled carefully. No, they're exercising. We do it to stay healthy and strong. You voluntarily stress your bodies? You cause yourselves pain for health? Exercise makes us stronger and helps us live longer. The Velari looked at each other in disbelief. One of the younger aliens spoke up, and the one with brown hair was bleeding from small cuts on his hands, but he continued working. Do humans not feel pain? That's probably Sam from maintenance, Jake said. He was fixing some sharp metal panels earlier. Small cuts don't usually stop us from working. Xanthara's eyes grew wide. A wound that draws blood would require immediate medical attention for Velari. We would become unconscious from the trauma. As Kyle and Beth prepared to cross to the Velari ship, Elder Quilvin pulled Jake aside. Captain Morrison, I must explain about the Kethmer, so you understand the danger we have brought to you. Jake nodded. Tell me. The Kethmer Empire has conquered 12 star systems in the past 50 years. They are warriors from a world with weak gravity, so they are very fast and agile. But they are also cruel. They believe that only the strong deserve to live, and they use weaker species as slaves or food. Food? Jake's expression darkened. Yes. They do not understand concepts like mercy or protection of the weak. When they discover that you have helped us, they will mark humans as enemies. They will study you and then decide whether to avoid you or destroy you. Amy had been listening to the conversation. Elder Quilvin, how did you learn to speak our language so quickly? Velari are natural linguists. We learn languages easily, because we were once traders between many worlds. Before the Kethmer came, we helped different species communicate with each other. Dr. Cole approached with Zenthara following behind him. Captain, I've been learning about Velari medicine. Their healing methods are incredibly advanced. They can regrow damaged organs and repair genetic defects that we consider incurable. And I have learned about human medicine, Zenthara added. Your people perform surgery while the patient is awake. You cut into bodies and repair them with metal and plastic parts. You inject weakened diseases into healthy people to prevent illness. Such courage is beyond our understanding. Kyle's voice came over the communication system from the Velari ship. Captain, you need to see this technology. Their engines run on principles I've never seen before. No harmful radiation, no pollution, and incredibly efficient. But the materials are so delicate that a small impact damaged everything. Can you fix it? Jake asked. I think so, but it'll take some creative human engineering. These systems are amazing, but they're built for a perfect environment. One rough landing would destroy them. Beth's voice joined the conversation. Sir, I think I can reinforce their technology with some of our materials. Make it more durable, without losing the efficiency. Elder Quilvin looked at Jake with something approaching wonder. Your people share knowledge freely, even with strangers? Why wouldn't we? Most species guard their technology carefully. They fear others will use it against them. We believe knowledge should be shared, Jake explained. It makes everyone stronger. Zenthara touched Dr. Cole's arm gently with one finger. Doctor, may I ask why your people decided to help us? You knew nothing about us. We could have been dangerous. Ryan considered the question carefully. Because you asked for help. Because you had children who were afraid. Because it was the right thing to do. Even though helping us might bring the Kethmer's anger down on your people? Especially because of that, Jake interjected. Humans don't like bullies. Elder Quilvin looked around at the human crew members going about their work. Some were bringing food and water to the Velari refugees. Others were setting up temporary sleeping areas. Everyone seemed focused on helping the aliens feel safe and comfortable. We came seeking asylum from Death World warriors, she said softly. But perhaps we have found something else. Perhaps we have found protectors. As the day continued, both species learned more about each other. The humans discovered that Velari art, music, and philosophy were incredibly beautiful and complex. The Velari learned that human strength came not just from their dangerous world, but from their willingness to help others despite personal risk. But deep in space, 3 Kethmer warships were following the trail left by the Velari refugee ship, getting closer with each passing hour. Lieutenant Nick Palmer's voice cut through the peaceful atmosphere on the bridge like a knife. Captain, we have 3 large ships dropping out of hyperspace. They're not human design. Captain Jake Morrison was in the middle of reviewing repair. Progress with Kyle Watson when the alarm sounded. He rushed to the bridge with Dr. Ryan Cole and Commander Lisa Park close behind him. Show me, Jake ordered. The main screen filled with the image of 3 dark, angular ships that looked like giant metal spears. They were twice the size of the Frontier and covered in weapon ports. Their hulls were black with red markings that seemed to glow in the starlight. Those are Kethmer warships, Amy Rodriguez said, her voice tight with worry. She had been talking with Elder Quilvin when the ships arrived. The Velari are terrified. Some of them are crying. In the docking bay, the Velari refugees had gathered together in a tight group. Several of the children were making soft, frightened sounds. Elder Quilvin and Zenthara were trying to comfort their people, but their own fear was obvious. Incoming. Transmission, Amy announced. They're demanding to speak with our captain. Put them through, Jake said. The screen changed to show a reptilian face with yellow eyes and sharp teeth. The creature's skin was dark green with black stripes, and its head was elongated like a crocodile's. When it spoke, its voice was harsh and full of menace. Human vessel, I am Commander Vextel of the Kethmer Empire. You have stolen property that belongs to us. Return the Velari slaves immediately, and we will consider not destroying your ship. Jake felt anger rising in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. I'm Captain Morrison. The Velari are not property. They're refugees seeking protection, and we've granted them asylum. Vextel's yellow eyes narrowed. Asylum? What is this word? The Velari are livestock. They exist to serve their betters. You will return them now. No, Jake said simply. The Kethmar commander seemed shocked by the direct refusal. You dare refuse the Kethmar Empire? Your single ship against 3 of our warships? Are humans stupid as well as weak? Lisa stepped closer to Jake. Captain, our weapons are no match for 3 ships that size. I know, Jake whispered back. Then he spoke louder. Commander Vextel, The Valari are under human protection now. We will not surrender them to slavery. Protection? Vexthul laughed, a sound like grinding metal. The weak do not deserve protection. They deserve to serve or die. This is the natural order. Dr. Cole moved to Jake's other side. Captain, I need to check on the Valari. This conversation is making them panic. Go ahead, Doc. As Ryan left the bridge, Vexthul continued his threats. Human Captain, you do not understand what you face. The Kethmer Empire spans many star systems. We have destroyed entire species that opposed us. Your people are unknown to us, but that will not save you. Maybe not, Jake replied. But we won't hand over innocent refugees to be enslaved. Innocent? Vexthul's voice rose with what sounded like genuine confusion. The Valari are prey animals. They have no weapons, no armies, no strength. They exist only to be used by superior beings. How can prey be innocent or guilty? Nick Palmer looked up from his tactical station. Captain, 2 of their ships are moving to flank us. The 3rd is staying in position to block any escape route. Acknowledged. Jake kept his eyes on the Kethmer commander. Vexthul, you speak of superior beings, but what makes you superior? Your weapons? Your willingness to hurt the defenseless? Strength makes us superior. Power makes us superior. The ability to take what we want makes us superior. The Valari cannot stop us, so they belong to us. This is how the universe works. Not in human space. Weapons specialist Megan Torres spoke quietly from her station. Captain, their weapons are charging. Energy signatures are building. Jake nodded. All crew, this is the captain. Prepare for possible combat. Non-essential personnel to emergency stations. Throughout the ship, humans began moving quickly to their assigned positions. In the docking bay, several crew members stayed with the Valari refugees to keep them calm. Kyle Watson and Beth Turner were still working on the alien ship, but now they were also preparing defensive measures. Vexthul's image leaned forward on the screen. You prepared to fight? Good. The Kethmer respect strength, even when it is foolish strength. I will give you one final chance, human captain. Surrender the Valari, and we will make your deaths quick. And if we refuse, then we will take the Valari from the wreckage of your ship, and your deaths will be slow and painful. Jake looked around at his bridge crew. Every one of them looked back with determination. They all knew they were outgunned, but none of them suggested surrendering. The refugees. Commander Vexthul, Jake said clearly, humans have a saying. We don't negotiate with bullies. The Kethmer commander's face twisted with rage. Bullies? We are conquerors. We are the strong taking from the weak. This is natural law. Maybe where you come from. But humans believe the strong should protect the weak, not prey on them. Protect the weak? Vexthul sounded like the concept was physically painful to him. Why would any rational being waste strength protecting those who cannot defend themselves? Because it's the right thing to do. Right? Wrong? These are meaningless words. There is only strong and weak, predator and prey, master and slave. Amy Rodriguez had been recording the entire conversation. Captain, I'm transmitting everything to Earth Command. If we don't survive this, at least they'll know what happened. Dr. Cole's voice came over the intercom. Captain, the Valari want to surrender themselves to save us. Elder Quilvin says they won't let humans die for them. Tell them absolutely not, Jake replied firmly. We made a promise to protect them. Vexthul had been listening to the exchange. How amusing. The prey wants to sacrifice itself to save the predator, but it does not matter. We will take the Valari and destroy your ship anyway. You have defied the Kethmer Empire, and that cannot go unpunished. The Kethmer ships moved closer, their weapons now fully charged and aimed at the frontier. Jake could feel the tension on the bridge rising. His crew was ready to fight, but everyone knew the odds were terrible. "Megan, what's our tactical situation?" Jake asked. "Not good, sir. Their ships have heavier armor and more weapons than us. But our targeting systems are more advanced, and our weapons have better accuracy." "Kyle, how is the Valari ship?" Kyle's voice came through the communicator. "Engines are working, but barely. Their ship could move, but not fast enough to escape those warships." Nick Palmer suddenly spoke up. "Captain, I'm detecting additional ships on long-range sensors. Human signatures, but still several hours away. Too far to help us now," Lisa said quietly. Jake made his decision. "Vexthal, this is your last warning. Leave this system immediately, or face the consequences." The Kethmer commander threw back his head and made that grinding laugh again. "Consequences? From one small human ship? You amuse me, Captain, but my amusement is ended. Prepare to be destroyed." The transmission cut off, and the 3 Kethmer warships began their final approach. On the frontier, humans prepared to fight against impossible odds to protect a group of alien refugees they had known for less than 2 days. In the docking bay, Elder Quilvin watched the human crew members checking their weapons and preparing defensive positions. She turned to Zenthara and spoke in their own language. "What do you think?" Zenthara asked. "I think we are about to learn what Deathworld warriors are truly capable of." The first Kethmer energy blast hit the frontier's shields without warning. The ship shook violently, throwing several crew members against the walls. Emergency lights began flashing red throughout the vessel. "Return fire," Captain Jake Morrison shouted as he pulled himself back into his command chair. "Weapons specialist." Megan Torres's fingers danced across her control panel, firing main batteries. The Frontier's weapons lanced out at the closest Kethmer ship. The human weapons were smaller than the alien ones, but they hit exactly where Megan aimed them. The Kethmer ship's shields flickered and sparked. "Direct hit on their weapon systems," Nick Palmer reported. "Their forward guns are damaged." Commander Vexthal's angry voice filled the bridge. "Impossible. How did such weak weapons penetrate?" "Our shields?" "Because we know how to aim," Jake replied grimly. The battle quickly became chaotic. The 3 Kethmer ships had expected to destroy the single human vessel in minutes, but the Frontier proved much harder to kill than they anticipated. Every time the alien ships fired, Captain Morrison and his crew seemed to know exactly where to move to minimize damage. "Lisa, take us between those 2 ships," Jake ordered. "Make them worry about hitting each other." Commander Lisa Park's hands flew over the navigation controls. The Frontier dove and rolled like a fighter plane, using its smaller size to stay out of the worst enemy fire. The Kethmer ships were fast, but they had been designed for straight-line attacks against helpless targets, not for this kind of close combat maneuvering. In the docking bay, Sergeant Dana Walsh and her security team had set up defensive positions around the Valari refugees. The aliens were huddled together, some crying softly, but they watched in amazement as the humans worked calmly under fire. Sergeant Walsh, one of the younger Valari, asked through Amy's translation system, "Why are your people not afraid?" "Your ship is being attacked by much larger enemies." Dana checked her rifle and smiled. "We are afraid. But fear doesn't stop us from doing our job. You can function while afraid? Fear keeps us alert, helps us think faster and fight harder." Elder Quilvin stared at the human soldiers. Even under attack, they moved with confidence and purpose. When the ship shook from enemy fire, they adjusted their positions quickly and continued their work. On the bridge, the situation was getting worse. The Frontier's shields were failing, and 2 of the Kethmer ships were moving to bracket them in a crossfire. "Captain!" Nick Palmer shouted. The middle enemy ship is trying to ram us. I see it. Megan, target their engines. The Frontier's weapons struck the attacking ship's rear section, causing explosions along its hull. But the ship didn't stop. It was still coming straight at them. All hands, brace for collision. Jake announced that the Kethmer ship slammed into the Frontier's side. Metal screamed against metal, and several hull sections buckled. Worse, the collision tore a hole in both ships, connecting them. Hull breach on Deck 7, Gamey reported. Emergency force fields are holding, but barely. Through the torn metal, Kethmer warriors began pouring into the human ship. They were tall, reptilian creatures with powerful legs built for jumping. In their low-gravity homeworld, they could leap incredible distances and move with lightning speed. Repel boarders. Jake commanded all security teams to Deck 7. Lieutenant Alex Chun grabbed his sidearm and a handful of Marines. They ran through the corridors toward the breach, meeting panicked crew members running the other way. How many? Alex asked one of the fleeing engineers. At least 20 of those lizard things. They're fast, sir. Faster than anything I've ever seen. Alex and his team reached Deck 7 to find chaos. The Kethmer warriors were indeed incredibly fast, leaping from wall to wall and attacking with curved blades and energy weapons. They moved like deadly dancers, almost too quick for human eyes to follow. But the humans had advantages the Kethmer didn't expect. When the first alien warrior leaped at Alex, the lieutenant didn't try to match its speed. Instead, he predicted where it would land and fired 3 shots into that space. The Kethmer warrior ran straight into the bullets. Don't chase them, Alex shouted to his team. Let them come to you, then hit them where they're going to be. The other Marines quickly learned the tactic. The Kethmer were fast and agile, but they followed predictable attack patterns. Humans, raised on a world where everything tried to kill them, were experts at reading predator behavior. Private Martinez took a deep slash across his arm from a Kethmer blade, but instead of falling back, he grabbed the alien's weapon hand and held on. The Kethmer tried to pull away, but Martinez was much stronger than expected. Now, Martinez yelled. Corporal Johnson put 3 rounds into the trapped alien. Blood was running down Martinez's arm, but he was still fighting. The Kethmer warriors began to realize something was wrong. These humans should have been easy prey. They were slower and less agile than Kethmer, but they seemed impossible to kill. Wounds that should have stopped them only made them fight harder. On the bridge, Dr. Ryan Cole was treating injured crew members without stopping his other duties. Captain, I've got burns, cuts, and broken bones, but everyone's still at their stations. Jake watched his tactical display. The boarding party was being pushed back, but slowly. How long until those reinforcements arrive? 2 hours, sir. Nick replied, maybe less if they push their engines hard. The ship shook again as the 2 remaining Kethmer vessels continued their attack. The Frontier's weapons were still firing back, scoring hit after hit on the enemy ships. But the human vessel was taking severe damage. In the boarding action, Alex Chun made a desperate decision. Follow me, he shouted to his remaining Marines. We're going through the breach onto their ship. Sir? Corporal Johnson looked at him like he was crazy. If we can damage their ship from the inside, maybe we can even the odds. Alex led his team through the twisted metal of the hull breach and onto the Kethmer vessel. The alien ship was dark and hot, with a thick, humid atmosphere that smelled like a swamp. The Kethmer hadn't expected humans to board their ship. Alex and his team fought their way toward what looked like the enemy vessel's engine room, using their knowledge of ship design to guess where the most critical systems would be. Back on the Frontier, Sergeant Walsh received a report that made her smile grimly. Captain, Lieutenant Chan's team has reached the enemy engine room. They're setting charges. Outstanding. Tell them to get back here as soon as possible. The explosion that followed lit up space like a small star. The Kethmer ship that had rammed them lost power and began drifting. Alex and his team barely made it back through the breach before their escape route was sealed by emergency systems. Commander Vexthil's voice came over the communication system, filled with disbelief and rage. What are you? How do you fight? While wounded? How do you board our ships? How do you function under conditions that should kill you? We're human, Jake replied simply. We come from a world that spent millions of years trying to kill us. We learned to be tough. This is impossible. The weak cannot defeat the strong. Maybe you need to redefine what makes someone strong. The remaining 2 Kethmer ships were retreating now, their confidence shattered. They had expected to face helpless prey, but instead found warriors who seemed to thrive on adversity. In the docking bay, Elder Quilvin and the other Villari watched human medical teams treating the wounded. Crew members with serious injuries were joking with their doctors. Others with bandaged arms and legs were already returning to their duties. How? Zenthara whispered to Dr. Cole. How do they continue fighting while hurt? Pain tells us we're alive, Ryan replied as he stitched up a cut on Alex Chun's forehead. And being alive means we can still protect what matters. The young Villari healer stared at the humans in wonder. On her world, even a small injury would require rest and isolation. But these humans seemed to use their pain as fuel for their determination. As the Kethmer ships disappeared into hyperspace, Jake received a message from the approaching human fleet. This is Admiral Chris Thompson aboard the UFS Intrepid. Captain Morrison, we received your transmission. Are you all right? We're still here, Admiral. The Kethmer have retreated, but I don't think they're gone for good. Understood. We'll be there in 90 minutes. Prepare a full report on first contact procedures and this Kethmer Empire. Jake looked around at his battered but victorious crew, then at the Villari refugees who were staring at the humans with a mixture of awe and gratitude. The real war, he realized, was just beginning. Admiral Chris Thompson's fleet arrived like a wall of metal and light. 12 human ships dropped out of hyperspace around the damaged frontier, their weapons ready and shields up. Captain Jake Morrison had never been so happy to see reinforcements. In his life, the Admiral himself came aboard the Frontier 2 hours later. He was a tall man with gray hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. As he walked through the ship, he saw the battle damage, the wounded crew members still working at their posts, and the 47 Villari refugees in the docking bay. Captain Morrison, Admiral Thompson said as they met in Jake's ready room. I've read your initial report. First contact with an alien species, refugees seeking asylum, and immediate combat with something called the Kethmer Empire. Is that accurate? Yes, sir. The Villari are peaceful people fleeing slavery. The Kethmer are aggressive empire builders who see other species as property. And you decided to protect the refugees even though it meant fighting 3 enemy warships. Jake straightened in his chair. It was the right thing to do, sir. Admiral Thompson smiled. I agree completely. But, Captain, I need you to understand what this means. According to the Villari, this Kethmer Empire spans multiple star systems and has been expanding for decades. We're not dealing with a small problem. I know, sir. Commander Vexthil made it clear that they'll be back with more ships. Before the Admiral could respond, Amy Rodriguez's voice came over the intercom. Captain, Elder Quilvin requests a meeting with you and the Admiral. She says it's important. Minutes later, the 3 humans sat with Elder Quilvin and Zenthara in the ship's main conference room. The elderly Villari leader looked much calmer now, but her large purple eyes still showed worry. Admiral Thompson, she began through the translation device. Captain Morrison and his crew have saved our lives. We owe humans a debt that can never be repaid. You don't owe us anything, Jake said. We helped because it was right. Nevertheless, we wish to offer something in return. Velari technology, our knowledge of the galaxy, and our connections with other peaceful species who are also threatened by the Kethmer. Dr. Ryan Cole entered the room carrying a datapad. Admiral, I've been working with Zenthara on combining our medical knowledge. The results are incredible. Explain, Admiral Thompson said. Velari healing technology can regrow organs and repair genetic damage. Combined with human surgical techniques and our resistance to trauma, we could revolutionize medicine for both species. Zenthara spoke up. And human medical practices can help my people become stronger. Your concepts of physical fitness and pain tolerance could extend Velari lifespans significantly. Engineer Kyle Watson appeared at the conference room door. Sorry to interrupt, but Admiral, you need to see what we've accomplished with their ship. The group moved to the docking bay where the Velari vessel sat. Kyle and Beth Turner had been working on it for hours, and the changes were remarkable. We've reinforced their engine systems with human materials, Kyle explained. The efficiency is still incredible, but now it can handle rough conditions. No more breaking down from small impacts. Beth pointed to various modifications. And we've added human backup systems. If their delicate technology fails, our robust systems take over automatically. Elder Quilvin looked amazed. You have made our ship stronger without losing what made it special? That's the idea, Kyle said. Human engineering philosophy is about making things that work under any conditions. Admiral Thompson was studying the technical readouts. This is impressive work. Captain Morrison, I think we're looking at the beginning of something much larger than a simple rescue mission. Amy Rodriguez approached the group with a worried expression. Admiral, we're receiving multiple distress calls from different sectors. Other alien species are requesting human assistance. Word is spreading that humans helped Velari against the Kethmer. How many? Admiral Thompson asked. 7 different species so far, sir. All of them claim to be refugees from Kethmer expansion. Elder Quilvin nodded sadly. The Kethmer Empire has many enemies, Admiral. Most are species like us, who cannot fight back effectively. They have been waiting for someone strong enough to stand against the Kethmer. And they think humans are strong enough? Admiral, Zenthara said quietly, we have seen your people fight while wounded. We have seen them board enemy ships during battle. We have seen them refuse to surrender innocent lives even when outnumbered. If humans are not strong enough, then no one is. Dr. Cole looked up from his medical scanner. Sir, there's something else. The Velari have contacted other friendly species in this region. They're sharing information about human capabilities and human values. We're becoming famous. Famous how? As protectors. As people who defend the weak instead of preying on them. Admiral Thompson walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Captain Morrison, when you helped these refugees, did you consider that you might be starting an interstellar war? Honestly, sir? No. I just saw people in trouble who needed help. Good answer. The Admiral turned back to the group. Because I'm about to make a decision that will definitely start an interstellar war. He activated his communication device. All ships, this is Admiral Thompson. I'm declaring this system under human protection. Any Kethmer vessels that enter this space will be considered hostile and dealt with accordingly. Elder Quilvin C. Eyes widened. Admiral, the Kethmer will see this as a declaration of war. Good, because that's exactly what it is. The Admiral's voice carried throughout the fleet. For too long, peaceful species have suffered under the Kethmer Empire's expansion. Humanity will not stand by while innocent people are enslaved or murdered. We're drawing a line here and now. Captain Morrison felt a chill of excitement and fear. "Sir, Earth Command will need to approve this decision. Earth Command already has. I've been authorized to take whatever action I deem necessary to protect human interests and allied species." Admiral Thompson smiled grimly. "It seems our government agrees that protecting refugees is a human interest." Over the next several hours, 3 more alien ships arrived seeking asylum. Each brought stories of Kethmer brutality and reports of other species desperately hoping for human intervention. Kyle and Beth found themselves leading mixed teams of human engineers and alien technicians, combining technologies in ways no one had imagined before. Dr. Cole worked with healers from 4 different species, sharing knowledge that would benefit everyone. Lieutenant Alex Chun, still bandaged from the boarding action, was training alien security personnel in human combat tactics. The aliens were amazed by human concepts of fighting while injured and using pain as motivation. As evening came, Jake found himself back in the conference room with Elder Quilvin and Admiral Thompson. The Velari leader was preparing to address her people, who had been watching the day's events with growing hope. "Captain Morrison," Elder Quilvin said softly, "when we first met, I told you that Velari had heard stories about humans. We knew you were called Deathworld Dwellers, and that you were feared as warriors. What did you think when you first saw us?" Jake asked. "I was terrified. I expected savage killers who might help us but would probably hurt us." She paused, her large eyes reflecting the room's lights. "But I was wrong about what makes humans dangerous." "What do you mean?" "Your weapons are not the most dangerous thing about humans. Your strength is not the most dangerous thing. Your ability to fight while wounded is not the most dangerous thing." Admiral Thompson leaned forward. "Then what is?" Elder Quilvin stood and looked out at the mixed crews of humans and aliens working together in the docking bay. "The most dangerous thing about humans is that you remember what it means to be gentle with those who cannot defend themselves. You have all the power of a Deathworld species, but you use it to protect instead of to conquer." She turned back to them with something that might have been a smile on her alien features. "We came seeking asylum from Deathworld warriors, Captain Morrison, but we found something the galaxy needs much more. We found protectors who are strong enough to fight monsters and gentle enough to comfort children." As if summoned by her words, the sound of human laughter mixed with alien voices drifted up from the docking bay where Kyle was teaching Young Velari how human tools worked well. Beth showed them pictures of Earth's animals. The war with the Kethmer Empire was just beginning, but humanity had already won something more important. They had found their place in the galaxy not as conquerors, but as guardians of those who needed protection. And across known space, the word was spreading. If you were peaceful and in danger, look for the humans. They would stand between you and any threat, no matter how powerful, because that's what humans do.
Alex Mercer wiped sweat from his forehead as he stood before the massive doors of the Galactic Mercenary Guild. The building towered above the other structures in the alien city, its metal walls gleaming in the light of 2 distant suns. He took a deep breath. This was it. After 6 months of paperwork and tests, he would finally get his chance to prove humans belonged among the galaxy's elite fighters. "They're going to laugh at you," said a voice from behind. Alex turned to see a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms crossed over its chest. The Parvonian mercenary named Vrax had been one of the few to speak to Alex during his waiting period. "Let them laugh," Alex said, keeping his voice calm. "Won't be the first time." Vrax made a clicking sound with his mouth parts. "Most species avoid Earth. Too dangerous, they say. High gravity, extreme temperatures, deadly microbes, natural disasters. How do you survive there?" Alex shrugged. "It's home." The truth was simpler than the aliens wanted to believe. Humans weren't special. They were just products of a harsh world that forced them to adapt or die. Earth's gravity had given them strong muscles and dense bones. Its changing seasons had taught them to plan ahead. Its predators had honed their reflexes and problem-solving skills. But the galaxy didn't understand this. They called Earth a death world and treated humans like they were something to fear. Alex planned to use that fear to his advantage. Daughter. Doors slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, the guild hall was filled with mercenaries from across the galaxy. Some had scales, others had tentacles or extra limbs. All of them turned to stare at the human who dared enter their domain. A small, gray alien with large black eyes approached. Alex Mercer of Earth. The council will see you now. Alex followed the gray alien through the crowd. He felt their eyes on him, heard their whispers. A human? Here? I heard they eat meat, with their teeth. They sleep every day. Waste of time. Too fragile, won't last a week. The council chamber was a circular room with 7 massive seats arranged in a half circle. Each seat held a different alien, each one representing one of the founding species of the guild. At the center stood a simple platform where applicants were expected to stand. State your name and world of origin, commanded the tallest council member, a reptilian being with golden scales, Alex Mercer. Earth. A murmur ran through the council. The reptilian being leaned forward. Earth is classified as a Category 5 death world. No species from such a planet has ever joined the guild. What makes you think you are qualified? Alex stood straighter. I'd like to show you rather than tell you. This was not the normal way. Usually applicants presented their credentials, their past victories, their special skills. But Alex had none of these things that the guild would recognize. He had only himself and the adaptations Earth had given him. The council members looked at each other. Finally, the reptilian nodded. Very well, you will face the trials immediately. Normally, applicants have time to prepare, but since you are so confident, we will proceed now. Alex was led to a large training area beneath the guild hall. A crowd gathered to watch the human fail. The first test was simple. Hit a target with a standard guild energy weapon. Many applicants struggled with the strange balance and recoil of alien weapons. Alex picked up the weapon, felt its weight, adjusted his stance, and fired. The shot hit dead center. The crowd's whispers grew louder. The second test involved solving a tactical problem. Alex was shown a holographic battlefield and given 30 seconds to identify the optimal attack route. He pointed to a narrow ravine that others had overlooked. Dangerous, said one of the judges. That path is exposed. Only if you move slowly, Alex replied. A fast surprise attack here would work. The third test was physical. Alex was placed in a chamber with higher gravity than Earth's. Most applicants from lighter worlds could barely stand. Alex felt the pressure but moved forward step by step, completing the obstacle course as sweat soaked his clothes. The final test was combat. A massive alien with natural armor stepped into the ring. Kalo, a champion from the Dorvian system, had broken bones of previous applicants. You may surrender now with honor, the judge offered Alex. Alex shook his head and stepped into the ring. Kalo charged immediately, hoping to end the fight quickly. Alex didn't try to match the alien's strength. Instead, he dodged, rolled, and kept moving. Minutes passed. Kalo's movements grew slower. The alien wasn't used to extended combat. On its homeworld, fights ended quickly or not at all. But humans evolved as persistence hunters. Alex could keep moving long after other species would collapse from exhaustion. He waited for his moment, then struck at the joints where Kalo's armor was weakest. The alien fell to one knee, then signaled surrender. Silence filled the training area. Then slowly, Vrax began to clap with his 4 hands. Others joined in, their sounds of approval varying by species. The council members watched from above, their expressions unreadable. The human passes, announced the reptilian leader. Alex Mercer of Earth is granted probationary status in the Galactic Mercenary Guild. As Alex walked from the training area, Vrax fell into step beside him. Not bad for a soft skin, the Parvonian said. But now the real test begins. Many will challenge you to prove themselves against a Death Worlder. Let them come, Alex said. You'll need allies, Vrax continued. A team. I might be interested. Alex looked at the four-armed alien with surprise. Why would you want to team up with me? Vrax made that clicking sound again. Because now everyone will be watching the human. The contracts will be interesting. The pay will be good. Alex smiled for the first time since arriving at the guild. Makes sense. Later that night, as Alex rested in his new quarters, a message arrived on his communication device. It was from Earth Command. Status report requested. Has infiltration been successful? Alex sent his reply. Phase 1 complete. Guild access secured. What the guild didn't know, what they couldn't know, was that Alex wasn't just any human seeking fortune as a mercenary. He was the first of many, part of Earth's careful plan to gain influence in galactic affairs after decades of being ignored and underestimated. The galaxy feared Death Worlders. Soon they would learn whether that fear was justified. 5 years passed quickly for Alex Mercer. What began as a probationary position in the Galactic Mercenary Guild had become a respected career. His team was now among the most sought after in 3 sectors of the galaxy. Alex looked around the small ship that had become their home. Vrax was cleaning his weapons, all forearms moving with practiced precision. Nylith, their Cerebian tech specialist, sat in silent meditation, the faint blue glow of her bioelectric field pulsing gently. In the corner, massive Kalo, once Alex's opponent, now a loyal teammate, was checking the ship's systems. We're approaching Nexus Prime, Kalo announced, his deep voice rumbling through the cabin. Alex nodded. The Guild's central headquarters was not a place they visited often. Most of their contracts kept them in the outer systems, dealing with problems other mercenaries couldn't or wouldn't handle. Did they say why we're being summoned? Nylith asked, her words forming directly in their minds through her species. Unique communication. No, Alex replied. Just that Guildmaster Zarek wants to see us personally. Vrax made a clicking sound. Last time that happened, we ended up fighting acid-spitting creatures on that mining colony. Good pay, though, Kalo reminded him. Their ship docked at the massive space station that served as the Guild's headquarters. Compared to 5 years ago, Alex noted how differently they were treated now. Guards nodded respectfully. Other mercenaries moved aside as they passed. Fear had been replaced by professional respect, or at least the appearance of it. Guildmaster Zarek waited in his private chambers. The translucent alien's skin rippled with colors as they entered. Beside him stood another human, a woman with short brown hair and alert eyes. Alex Mercer, Zarek said, his voice high and musical. Thank you for coming so quickly. This is Ella Davidson, our newest human recruit. Alex shook the woman's hand, noting her firm grip. Another Death Worlder in the guild. Welcome. Ella nodded but said nothing. Her eyes studied Alex and his team. With professional interest, I'll be direct, Zarek continued. We have a problem that requires your unique perspective. A new mercenary group has emerged in the Outer Rim. They call themselves the Earthborn Division. Alex kept his face neutral, but his mind raced. Earth Command had mentioned nothing about another human operation. They're all human? He asked. Yes, Ella spoke for the first time, and they're eliminating our established teams in that region. 7 groups have been neutralized so far. Killed? Vrax asked. Some, Zarek admitted. Others were convinced to join them. The survivors described tactics they'd never seen before. The Earthborn Division doesn't rely on superior weapons or numbers. They use methods that other species find difficult to predict. Alex understood immediately. Most galactic species evolved in environments with abundant resources and minimal competition. Their tactics were direct, logical. Humans, however, developed in a harsh world where survival often depended on deception, misdirection, and what might seem like irrational risks. We need you to find out who's backing them, Zarek said. Earth's government denies any involvement, but someone is supplying these humans with ships and equipment. And once we find out? Alex asked. Ella answered, her voice calm but firm. Neutralize their leadership. The Guild cannot allow an independent human force to disrupt established operations. Alex looked at his team. They had faced many dangers, together but never other humans. The expressions on his alien companions' faces showed concern, not for the mission but for how Alex would respond. We'll need all available information on their movements, Alex said finally. And unrestricted access to Guild resources in the Outer Rim. Zarek's skin flashed with relief. You'll have everything you need. Ella will accompany you as the Guild's observer. Later, as they prepared their ship for departure, Vrax pulled Alex aside. You didn't tell us Earth was planning another operation, the four-armed alien said quietly. Because they weren't, Alex replied. At least not one I knew about. Vrax studied his human friend for a long moment. Will this be a problem? Fighting your own kind? Alex checked to make sure they were alone. These humans are attacking Guild teams, Vrax. That makes them a threat to us. I don't care where they're from. The Parvonian seemed satisfied with this answer, but as he turned away, Alex grabbed one of his forearms. We've been through a lot together, Alex said. You, me, Nylith, Kalo. Whatever happens out there, remember that. Vrax made his clicking sound again. Humans and your sentimentality. Always so dramatic. But he clasped Alex's arm in return, a gesture of trust between species that had evolved on worlds light years apart. Their journey to the Outer Rim took 3 days. Ella Davidson kept mostly to herself, reviewing data on her personal device. Alex watched her when she wasn't looking. Something about her story didn't add up. The Guild rarely sent observers on missions, especially not new recruits. On the final night before reaching their destination, a station called Helios orbiting a dying star, Alex found Ella alone in the ship's small observation deck. She was staring out at the stars, lost in thought. Why did you join the Guild? He asked without preamble. Ella didn't seem surprised by the question. Same reason as you, I imagine. Earth is too small for some of us. The Guild doesn't normally fast-track humans, Alex noted. It took me months of tests and trials. She turned to face him. Things change. After your success, the Guild became more interested in human potential. Interested enough to send a rookie on a high-priority mission? Ella smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Who said I was a rookie? Before Alex could respond, an alert sounded. Nylith's voice came through the ship's communication system. Alex, we're picking up a distress signal. Guild code. It's coming from a ship near Helios Station. In the control room, Nylith brought up the signal on the main screen. A damaged Guild vessel was drifting near the station, its emergency systems active. Life signs? Alex asked. 2, Kalo confirmed. Weak, but present. Ella stepped forward. It could be survivors from one of the teams that encountered the Earthborn division. Or a trap, Vrax suggested. Alex studied the sensor readings. Either way, we need to check it out. Prepare for rescue operations. As they approached the damaged vessel, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The Outer Rim was known for its lawlessness, but this felt different, more personal. Docking complete, Kalo announced. Atmosphere is stable. Vrax, Kalo, you're with me, Alex decided. Nylith, monitor communications. Ella, stay here and… I'm coming with you, she interrupted. Guild orders. Alex wanted to argue but knew it would waste time. Stay behind me. Do exactly as I say. The damaged ship was eerily quiet as they entered. Emergency lights cast red shadows across the corridors. They found the first survivor in the medical bay, a Taurian mercenary with serious injuries. Ambush, the alien whispered as they administered emergency treatment. They knew we were coming, knew our protocols. Who did this? Alex asked. The Earthborn division? The Taurian's 4 eyes blinked slowly. Human woman, called herself Grant. Ella stiffened at the name. Alex noticed but said nothing. The second survivor was beyond help. As they prepared to return to their ship, Vrax discovered something attached to the Taurian's personal items, a small recording device. The message was brief. Alex Mercer. We need to talk. Helios Station. The Red Nova Cantina. Come alone or don't come at all. SG. Ella reached for the device. This needs to go to Guild Intelligence. Alex moved faster, pocketing the device. Later. First, we complete our rescue mission. As they returned to their ship, Alex's mind raced. Who was SG? How did they know his name? And why did Ella Davidson seem so concerned about a simple message? The answers waited at Helios Station, and Alex had a feeling they wouldn't, like what they found. Helios Station hung in space like a tarnished metal star. The massive structure orbited a dying red sun, its countless lights glittering against the darkness. Once a mining outpost, it had become a haven for those who preferred to live beyond the reach of galactic law. Alex stood at the viewport as their ship approached the docking bay. The station's size impressed even him. Thousands of different species lived and worked here, many of them outlaws, smugglers, or mercenaries like himself. We should go together, Ella said from behind him. She had barely spoken since they found the message on the damaged ship. Alex shook his head. The message was clear. I go alone. Guild protocols state, we're not in Guild territory anymore. Alex cut her off. Out here, we do what works, not what's in the rulebook. Vrax stepped between them, his forearms spread in a calming gesture. Alex knows what he's doing, but we'll be ready if things go wrong. Ella's eyes narrowed, but she nodded. 6 hours. If you're not back, we come looking. After docking, Alex made his way through the crowded corridors of Helios Station. The air smelled of strange foods, exotic spices, and the mixed breath of 100 different species. Signs in multiple languages flashed advertisements for everything from weapons to companionship. The Red Nova Cantina was located in a lower level of the station, away from the main thoroughfares. Its entrance was marked by a faded hologram of a star-going supernova. Inside, the lighting was dim, and the patrons kept to themselves. Perfect for private conversations. Alex found an empty table in the corner and ordered a drink. He positioned himself to watch both the main entrance and the back exit. If this was a trap, he wouldn't be caught unprepared. He didn't have to wait long. A woman entered the cantina, her movements confident and purposeful. She wore simple clothes, but Alex recognized the subtle bulge of hidden weapons. Her brown hair was tied back, revealing a face that seemed strangely familiar. She spotted him immediately and walked directly to his table. Alex Mercer, she said, her voice carrying no question. Earth's first official guild member. You have me at a disadvantage, Alex replied, keeping his tone casual. The woman smiled and sat across from him. Samantha Grant, former Earth Special Forces. The name meant nothing to Alex, but something about her seemed oddly familiar. Perhaps they had trained at the same facilities back on Earth. Your message wasn't very informative, Alex said. What did you want to talk about? Samantha leaned forward. I wanted to meet the man they call the Tame Deathworlder. Alex's jaw tightened. He'd heard that nickname whispered behind his back at Guild headquarters. Is that why you've been attacking Guild teams? To prove how untamed you are? We haven't attacked anyone who didn't fire first, Samantha countered. But yes, we've been showing the galaxy that humans aren't just convenient tools for their dangerous missions. The Guild gave me opportunities I'd never have had on Earth, Alex said. Samantha laughed, the sound harsh in the quiet cantina. They gave you scraps from their table and called it a feast. Did you never wonder why your team always gets the most dangerous assignments? Why human recruits have a 60% higher casualty rate than other species? Alex stayed silent. He had noticed certain patterns in their mission assignments, but had attributed it to their reputation for handling difficult situations. The Guild has had a monopoly for too long, Samantha continued. They've been exploiting Deathworlders while keeping the safest, most profitable contracts for their founding species. And your Earthborn division is the answer? Alex asked. We're a start. We offer fair pay, equal treatment, and no hidden agendas. We're growing fast, not just humans, but other Death World species too. Even some guild members have joined us. Alex thought of the Taurian survivor they'd rescued. After you attack their ships, we offer them a choice, Samantha corrected him. Many choose to join us. Who's funding you? Alex asked directly. Earth. Command denies any involvement. Something flickered in Samantha's eyes. Earth government isn't the only power on our planet. Have you heard of the consortium? Before Alex could respond, his communication device buzzed, the emergency signal from his team. At the same moment, Samantha's own device lit up. We need to go, they said simultaneously. Samantha stood. Think about what I said, Alex. The guild is using you. When you're ready to know more, find me. She placed a small data chip on the table and walked away. Alex grabbed the chip and headed for the exit. Outside, the station's emergency alarms were blaring. People rushed through the corridors in panic. Alex, Nylith's voice came through his communicator. Return to the ship immediately. The station is under attack. Who's attacking? Alex asked as he pushed through the crowd. Unknown vessels. They appeared from nowhere. Their weapon signatures don't match any known design. Alex ran faster. This wasn't right. Neither the guild nor the Earthborn division would attack a civilian station. This was something else entirely. He was halfway to the docking bay when the first explosion hit. The floor beneath him shuddered, and emergency barriers began to drop. Alex rolled under one just before it sealed the corridor. Ahead, he saw Kalo, forcing his way through a panicked crowd. The massive alien strength created a path that Alex followed. Where are the others? Alex shouted over the alarms. Vrax is preparing the ship, Kalo rumbled. Ella disappeared after you left. We can't find her, Alex cursed. He should have known the guild observer wouldn't follow orders. They reached their docking bay to find chaos. Their ship was intact, but several nearby vessels were damaged. Vrax stood at the entrance ramp, all four arms holding weapons. Get in, the Parvonian shouted. We need to leave now. Ella's still out there, Alex said. No, I'm not, came a voice from behind them. Ella emerged from the crowd, dragging an injured alien with her. Help me with him. Alex and Kalo lifted the wounded alien, a Cerebian like Nylith, and carried him aboard. As they secured the doors, Nylith rushed to aid her fellow species member. Who is he? Alex demanded. Guild intelligence, Ella explained, her calm demeanor now replaced with urgency. He has information about who's really behind the Earthborn division. The ship shuddered as another explosion rocked the station. Vrax was already at the controls, guiding them away from the docking bay. What about the station? Alex asked. We can't just leave all these people. Station security is handling evacuations, Ella said. Our priority is to get this intelligence back to the guild. Alex looked at the wounded Cerebian. The alien's bioelectric field was weak and flickering. He was dying. Tell us what you know, Alex said gently. Who's behind the Earthborn division? The Cerebian's voice formed weakly in their minds. Not what you think. Humans are pawns. Consortium uses them. The consortium? Alex remembered Samantha mentioning that name. Ancient group. Controls guild from shadows. Uses Deathworlders as weapons. The Cerebian's field dimmed further. Nylith worked desperately to stabilize him, but he was fading fast. Why attack humans? Alex pressed. Humans, too independent. Dangerous. Consortium fears. Rebellion. Tries to control. Or eliminate. With those words, the alien's bioelectric field went dark. Nylith bowed her head in respect for her fallen kinsman. Silence filled the ship as they accelerated away. From Heliostation, through the viewport, Alex watched as the once bustling outpost now burned, secondary explosions rippling across its surface. He reached into his pocket and felt the data chip Samantha had given him. The convenient attack, the dying informant. With exactly the information they needed, Ella's mysterious disappearance and reappearance, none of it felt right. Set course for empty space, Alex ordered suddenly, away from any guild outposts or traveled routes. What? Ella protested. "We need to report back immediately." Alex faced her, his expression hard. "We're not going anywhere until I know exactly what's happening. Someone just attacked a civilian station, and I want to know why before we walk into another trap." He turned to Vrax. "And scan the ship for tracking devices. All of them." The four-armed alien nodded, understanding in his eyes. Something bigger was happening, and they were caught in the middle of it. As the ship accelerated to light speed, Alex wondered if Samantha Grant had escaped the station, and if what she had told him might actually be true. The ship drifted in the empty space between star systems. Alex had ordered all non-essential systems shut down to minimize their electronic signature. If someone was tracking them, this would make it harder. Vrax had found 3 separate tracking devices hidden on their ship. 2 used standard guild technology. The third was of unknown origin. "Someone really wants to know where we are," Vrax said as he placed the disabled trackers on the table in the ship's small meeting room. Alex looked at Ella, who sat with her arms crossed. "Care to explain?" "Standard procedure," she replied without hesitation. "All guild ships carry trackers." "And the third one?" Alex pushed. Ella shook her head. "Not mine, not guild." Nylith moved closer to the devices. The Cerebian's bioelectric field extended toward the unknown tracker, sensing its composition. "Advanced technology," she communicated to their minds. "Similar to devices I've seen from the core worlds." The core worlds were the oldest, richest planets in the galaxy. Many of the guild's founding species came from there. Alex picked up the data chip Samantha had given him. "Let's see what's on this." "That could be dangerous," Ella warned. "It might contain malware." "Nylith can scan it first," Alex said, handing the chip to their tech specialist. Nylith took the chip and connected it to a secure, isolated system. After several minutes, she nodded. "It contains data files only. No active code." Alex activated the chip. A holographic display appeared above the table, showing lists of numbers, dates, and locations. "Guild mission records," Kalo observed, his deep voice rumbling in the quiet room. Alex scrolled through the data. "These are assignments given to teams with human members over the past 10 years. And these," he pointed to another section, "are the casualty rates." The numbers told a clear story. Human mercenaries received assignments with significantly higher danger ratings. Their casualty rates were nearly double those of teams without humans. "This could be selective data," Ella suggested. "Chosen to paint a certain picture." "Maybe," Alex conceded. "But it matches what Samantha Grant told me." He scrolled further through the data. The next section showed profiles of guild leadership, the council members and their backgrounds. Many had connections to something called the Consortium. "What exactly is this consortium?" Alex asked Ella. Her face remained neutral. "A myth. Conspiracy theories about a secret organization that controls galactic affairs have existed for centuries. Myths don't attack space stations," Vrax said. Alex continued examining the data. The final section showed communications between guild leaders and unknown parties discussing the human problem and containment strategies. One message stood out. "The Death Worlder experiment has yielded valuable tactical data, but containment is becoming difficult. Their reproductive and expansion rates exceed projections. Recommend implementation of Protocol Omega-9. The date on the message was just 3 weeks ago. "What is Protocol Omega-9? Alex asked Ella directly. She met his gaze steadily. "I don't know." Nylith suddenly stiffened, her bioelectric field flickering with alarm. "There's more data hidden in the encryption layer." She worked quickly, her specialized talents allowing her to access information that conventional tech couldn't read. New files appeared on the display, chemical formulas, and deployment plans. "These are weapons," Nylith explained. "Biogenetic, toxins designed specifically to target human physiology." Silence fell over the room. Alex looked at the plans with growing anger. The weapon was designed to appear as a natural virus, something that would spread quickly through human populations. "The Guild wouldn't do this," Alex said, though doubt crept into his voice. "Not the Guild," Kalo rumbled. The consortium. Vrax leaned forward. If this is true, every human in the galaxy is in danger, including you, Alex. And you, Alex added, looking at Ella. Her expression finally changed. A flash of genuine concern crossed her face. I need to report this to my superiors. Which superiors? Alex asked coldly. Guild or consortium? Ella stood up suddenly. I've been honest with you from the start. I'm a guild observer, nothing more. But this, she gestured at the display. If it's real, changes everything. Alex studied her face, looking for signs of deception. He'd worked with many species over the years and had become good at reading them. Humans, though, were sometimes the hardest to read. We need to warn Earth, Alex said finally, and find Samantha Grant again. She knows more than she told me. How do we find her? Kalo asked. The Earthborn division could be anywhere. Alex thought for a moment. We follow the attacks. The guild must have records of where the division has been operating. Ella nodded. There's a pattern to their movements. They've been working their way through the outer rim, sector by sector. If we can predict their next target, Vrax began, we can be waiting for them. Alex finished. Using the ship's navigation system, they plotted the locations of known Earthborn division activities. A clear pattern emerged. They were moving systematically through guild territory, focusing on outposts that handled valuable resources or information. Their next target will likely be the Vega outpost, Nylith determined. It's a major communication hub for the guild in this sector. Alex made his decision. We'll go to Vega. But first, we need to send this information somewhere safe. He looked at each of his teammates, aliens he had fought beside for 5 years. Their lives had been in each other's hands countless times. Trust had been earned the hard way. Nylith, encrypt this data and send copies to trusted contacts on your homeworld. Vrax, your family has connections in the trading guilds. They should know too. Kalo, your clan should be warned. The aliens nodded their agreement. Earth wasn't the only world at risk if the consortium was willing to use biological weapons against one species. Ella watched this exchange with a strange expression. What about me? Don't I get a task? Alex looked at her directly. That depends. Are you with us or against us? This goes against everything I was taught about the guild, Ella said quietly. But I can't ignore what I've seen. I'm with you. Alex nodded. Then you and I will prepare a message for Earth Command. They need to know what's happening. As the others went to their tasks, Alex pulled Ella aside. One more thing. When we were on Helios Station, you disappeared right before the attack. Why? Ella hesitated before answering. I received a message. Coordinates for a meeting. It was signed with guild authorization codes, so I went. But no one was there. When the attack started, I was trying to get back to the ship. Convenient. Timing, Alex noted. Or deliberate, Ella suggested. Someone wanted me away from your team during the attack. Alex considered this. Either she was telling the truth and someone had tried to separate them, or she was lying and had played a role in the attack herself. We'll reach Vega in 12 hours, Alex said. Get some rest. We'll need to be ready for anything. As Ella left, Alex looked again at the data showing the planned biological weapon. Earth had always been isolated in galactic affairs, seen as too dangerous, too unpredictable. Now he understood the real reason. The galaxy feared what they couldn't control. And humans, it seemed, were becoming harder to control with each passing day. The Vega outpost floated in orbit around a gas giant, its metal structure gleaming in the light of the distant sun. Unlike the chaotic Helios station, Vega was organized and controlled, a perfect example of guild efficiency. Alex studied the outpost through their ship's observation system. They had arrived ahead of schedule and positioned themselves behind one of the gas giant's many moons, hidden from Vega's detection systems. Any sign of Earthborn division ships? Alex asked. Nylith shook her head, her bioelectric field pulsing with concentration as she monitored their sensors. Nothing yet, but there is unusual activity at the outpost. Many ships have left in the past 6 hours. They know something's coming, Vrax suggested. Ella frowned. Or they're preparing for something else entirely. The message they had sent to Earth still showed as pending in their communication system. The vast distances of space meant it could take days to reach its destination, time they might not have. We need a closer look, Alex decided. Nylith, can you access the outpost's communication network from here? The Cerebian considered this. Possible, but risky. They will detect the intrusion. What about a direct approach? Kalo suggested. We are still guild members. We could dock normally and gather information from inside. Alex shook his head. Too dangerous. If the consortium has people there, we'd be walking into a trap. Then let me go, Ella offered. My guild credentials are higher level than yours. I can access more systems and gather better intelligence. Alex studied her face. Despite his lingering doubts about her loyalties, her suggestion made tactical sense. Not alone, he said finally. Vrax goes with you. The rest of us stay with the ship, ready for extraction if needed. Ella nodded her agreement. They prepared a small shuttle, enough to reach the outpost without drawing attention. As Ella and Vrax boarded, Alex pulled his four-armed friend aside. Watch her closely, he whispered. At the first sign of trouble, get out of there. Vrax made his clicking sound. We'll be fine. Humans aren't the only species with survival instincts, you know. Alex smiled despite the tension. Just be careful. After the shuttle departed, Alex paced the control room waiting for updates. Kalo monitored the outpost's traffic, while Nylith attempted to passively scan their communication frequencies. Something's not right, Nylith said suddenly. The outpost's communication patterns don't match standard guild protocols. Alex leaned over her shoulder. What do you mean? They're using encrypted channels usually reserved for emergencies, and the pattern suggests they're preparing for a major operation. Before Alex could respond, the ship's sensors blared a warning. Multiple vessels had just appeared on the far side of the gas giant. Guild ships? Alex asked. Kalo shook his massive head. No identification signals, but their configuration matches. Descriptions of Earthborn Division vessels. Alex's mind raced. If Samantha Grant's people were here, the situation would soon become very complicated. Contact Vrax, he ordered. Tell them to hurry. Nylith tried to establish communication, but only static came through. The outpost is jamming all frequencies. The situation was deteriorating rapidly. Alex had to make a decision. Kalo, get us closer to the outpost. Be ready to extract our people. As they emerged from behind the moon, their sensors detected another group of ships approaching from the opposite direction, guild vessels heavily armed. It's a trap, Alex realized. The guild knew the Earthborn Division was coming. They're planning to eliminate them here. The guild ships were taking positions around the outpost, creating a blockade. The Earthborn vessels slowed their approach, clearly assessing the situation. We need to warn them, Alex said. Kalo looked at him in surprise. Warn who? The guild or the Earthborn Division? Both, Alex replied. No one wins if they destroy each other here. Using a broad-spectrum emergency channel that would be difficult to jam, Alex transmitted a simple message. All vessels near Vega Outpost. This is Alex Mercer. The consortium has planned this confrontation. They want humans to fight each other. Don't give them what they want. For several tense moments, nothing happened. The guild ships continued their deployment. The Earthborn vessels maintained their position. Then their communication system crackled to life. Alex Mercer, this is Samantha Grant. What proof do you have of these claims? Alex sent the data from the chip, the mission records, the casualty statistics, and most importantly, the plans for biological weapons against humans. Another voice joined the channel. This is Guild Command Vessel Arbitrator. Mercer, you are ordered to cease transmission of classified information immediately. Is it classified because it's false? Alex challenged. Or because it's true? No response came from the Guild vessel. Instead, they began powering up their weapon systems. They're going to fire, Kalo warned. Alex made a desperate gamble. Nihilith, broadcast everything we have, all the data, all the evidence, to every ship in the area, Guild and Earthborn alike. Dutant, Cerebian worked quickly, sending out the information. As the data spread, the Guild vessel's advance slowed. Suddenly, their sensors detected a small craft leaving the outpost, Vrax and Ella's shuttle. It was moving erratically, as if damaged. "Get them aboard," Alex ordered. "Now!" As their ship moved to intercept the shuttle, the first shots were fired, not between Guild and Earthborn vessels, but from the outpost itself, targeting both sides indiscriminately. The consortium is trying to start the fight anyway, Alex realized. The shuttle docked with their ship. Vrax stumbled out, supporting an injured Ella. "What happened?" Alex asked as he helped them inside. "Ella found their plans," Vrax explained, his voice harsh with pain. "The outpost is controlled by consortium agents. They have the biological weapon ready for deployment. They were going to use the battle as cover to release it on both fleets." Ella looked up at Alex, blood trickling from a cut on her forehead. "I was wrong about the Guild. The officers on the outpost tried to stop the consortium agents when they realized what was happening. There was fighting, chaos. We have to stop them," Alex said. "That weapon can't be deployed." Outside, the situation had changed. Guild and Earthborn ships were no longer facing each other. Instead, they had formed a loose alliance targeting the outpost's weapon systems. Samantha's voice came through their communication system again. "Mercer, we're receiving the data you sent. If this is true, we need to secure that weapon." "I'm coming with you," Alex said immediately. Despite protests from his team, Alex prepared to join a joint boarding party from both Guild and Earthborn forces. As he checked his equipment, Ella approached him. "I was wrong about you, Alex," she said, quietly, "and wrong about many things." Alex nodded. "We all were. What matters is what we do now." The boarding action was swift and precise. Guild and Earthborn fighters moved together with surprising coordination. Alex found himself fighting alongside Samantha Grant as they pushed toward the outpost's central laboratory. "Never thought I'd see this," Samantha commented as a Guild officer covered their advance. "Deathworlders and Guild working together." "It won't last," Alex replied realistically, "but it's a start." They secured the biological weapon, a surprisingly small container that could have killed millions. The consortium agents who had planned to deploy it were either captured or killed in the fighting. In the aftermath, representatives from both sides met on neutral ground, Alex's ship. Guild officers, including some who had been skeptical of the consortium's existence, examined the evidence with growing concern. "This goes beyond humans," one Guild commander admitted. "If they're willing to target one species this way, they could target others," Samantha finished. Alex watched as former enemies talked, finding common ground in shared danger. The galaxy was changing. Old alliances were breaking, new ones forming. Later, as things settled, Vrax found Alex alone on the observation deck. "What happens now?" the four-armed alien asked. Alex looked out at the stars. "Now we make sure this never happens. Again, the Guild needs to change, the consortium needs to be exposed. And the Earthborn division? They'll have a place too. The galaxy is big enough for all of us if we make it so." Vrax made his clicking sound. "You humans, always so optimistic." Alex smiled. "That's why Deathworlders are dangerous, Vrax. We don't just survive, we hope. And hope is the most powerful force in the universe." As their ship prepared to depart, Alex received a message from Earth Command. It was brief but clear. "Situation understood. Proceed as necessary. Earth stands with you." The Deathworlders were uniting, and the galaxy would never be the same.